Good morning, Devils fans, on another slightly dreary Sunday here in Jersey. Rain coming and going, at least down here in South Jersey where I'm at. We are in the last day of practices and last scrimmage for the weekend before the preseason games start tomorrow. We finally get our Jack v. Nico scrimmage. I hopefully get to see some highlights coming out of the media team for that one, as you guys know I am pumped to see some Jack on Nico action. To kind of recap a bit from yesterday, but before that, a little bit of news that has come out already from practice today is Cole Brown has been skating with Palat and Mercer. Holla is not on the ice. I'm sure we will find out what's going on there by the end of practice. I'll recap that in tomorrow's video. From yesterday's scrimmage, Brat and Jack seem to have not lost a step at all together. Their synergy is through the roof, as they did score 2 goals, including the first one of their scrimmage. Palat tied it up with another strong-looking goal. We have had multiple quotes now from coaches and even Palat himself in that after scrimmage interview where he talks about how over this longer summer than he's had in a few years now, he's able to recover, really work on some things that he wasn't able to previously. He's feeling great, definitely put on some muscle, coming in a bit quicker. So yeah, could be a really big year for Palat here with us. I'm not going to say it's a career year by any means. He is getting older. He is going to be in a third line role compared to previously being a top 6 guy. But hey, he can really thrive in the position we are going to be putting him in. We also had Kevin Ball apparently light the lamp, and then Bowers with a real AHL goal coming in to tie it up. And finally, Jack won it in overtime. We did get to see the replay of that one where he completely split 2 guys. I mean, like they were like this close to each other, and he still managed to squeeze his way through. Right over to Brat. Instant tap back right over to Jack on the backside of the net, and tap in goal to win it. Beautiful play. I think those two are going to be a nightmare for a lot of teams coming up. Interviews, nothing too crazy. Real quick on these ones. Talked to some of our new guys in Nosek and Miller. Both of them mentioned how their families have settled in. They both know each other. They also both talk about how they know Holla and Lazar. These are real, guys that have really run through a lot of different teams. They did all play together, not at the same times, but just kind of sporadically throughout all these teams, a lot of them with Vegas. So it's good to have familiarity with the new guys coming in, knowing guys to get settled in, especially with someone like Holla and Lazar, who are very good at, being team guys, very talkative, especially Lazar, friendly dude. So, just makes it easier for our new guys to transition in. Nosek touched a bit on what he knows his role is going to be here. Nosek knows, huh? He's very aware. He is a 4th-line guy, plays a shutdown type role on his line. Usually a center, big face-off guy, as we know, but he's even fine switching over to wing here because we have a lot of good face-off guys. McLeod is our 4th-line center, being one of the best, if not the best in the league, right? I mean, Bergeron and Taves are out, so that really leaves McLeod to take the number 1 spot in the league as far as face-off percentages go. And Nosek also says he's very comfortable playing the PK. Miller did say, it's standard adjusting to the system type stuff, as we hear from a lot of new guys coming in. But it's nothing too crazy. It's really just ramping up to a game state conditioning for the team, going from the summer into here, just getting used to actually having your body rubbed into the boards, physicality and all that you really can't and don't replicate in the summer. And, we'll get through that through preseason as we get into regular season. Ruff did comment a bit on Luke. As I mentioned last video, he was healthy. He did practice. Apparently, the initial plan was for Luke to only do a half practice yesterday, but instead he made it through the full thing. Didn't have to step aside at all through that. They're going to reevaluate him today as he is part of the scrimmage and see how it goes. Hopefully all good news on that front. Did comment on Miller. Thinks so far from what he's seen, he should be a really good fit for the way we want to play the game, especially in that 3rd-line role. So all good things to hear and see. Obviously, coach isn't going to really down-talk any of his players, especially at this point. So it's usually all hype, lots of propaganda type sound bites that are going to come through in these camps, but I absolutely eat the stuff up, so I'm all here for it. Even Ruff admits, he says, we've seen it before with him. Lines will stick together through all of preseason. Last year we had the Palat, Jack, Holtz line, and sometimes even if it played every single preseason game together, it does not mean that's how it's going to stick for the first regular season game. So grain of salt with all these lines and such, but it's what we had to talk about, so that's what I'm going to talk about. Marino had a few good sound bites as well. As far as his off-season work went, he worked on puck retrievals and breakouts. We know that's a huge thing in our system with the D-men. We don't really want to play in the D-zone, as no team really does. So it's really about when a team does try to do a dump-in. If you watch all of my player spotlight videos, I talk about how a strength of a lot, if not all of our defensemen, is actually zone entry prevention, not necessarily in zone defense. So we're really good at just stopping a team from even getting into the zone, which really facilitates our transition game. So and for the offseason, Marino worked on when they do a dump in, which is usually the best way to work against our type of defense, where we're not going to just let you skate it in at the blue line. So instead, you dump in the puck and retrieve. So Marino really worked on that aspect of the game. So picking up the puck on a dump in and breaking it right back out. So I'm very excited to see how he plays, especially with someone like Luke as his pairing, who is also excels in that area as well. Should be really fun seeing those two together. Speaking of Luke, he was asked, rookie coming in, you're a bit more of a vet guy. How, what tips, tricks, what are you telling the kid? He says he doesn't. He's really just there. He's going to give him a hard time, some ribbing. Luke is so skilled, he doesn't need to give Luke any pointers. Asked about Steve Owen Graves departing, potentially elevating his role even more, getting more minutes on the ice. How do you prepare for that? He actually gave, I think, a very honest answer, and he left it off with an I don't know, because these guys, for the most part, every NHL player is rearing and gearing to just hop over the boards and play more. They don't, the all off season, they are training to play as many minutes as possible. They are conditioning their body to do so. They don't do anything different, just preparing for I might be playing more this year. Yeah, I thought that was a very honest answer and laughing it off a bit. So I wanted to touch on that just slightly. I mentioned it before. Media really seems to be pushing the narrative, trying to find synergy with this D-core, two big minute crunching guys moving out, younger guys moving in, and the answer has been pretty clear across the board with all of the guys. That's the NHL. Guys move out, new guys come in, trade acquisitions, free agents, young guys coming up, old guys moving out, whatever. Every team goes through it. They've done it all throughout their entire career from midget into the NHL. It's nothing new to them. They don't do anything very different. So I don't know, if the media is going to continue trying to push these questions and try and get sound bites out of it. I think the guys have resoundingly answered the question. It's part of the job. They're going to still crush it no matter what. And that was really it. Those were the kind of the major points that I saw coming out from yesterday. Like I said, today's the last practice. We have the scrimmage between Jack and Nico's team today. Super hyped for that one. Tomorrow is going to be our first preseason game, split squad. It has been confirmed we will get a stream of the home game versus the Flyers. I think that was already known, but we did get confirmation on that. There is no direct stream from the Devils team of the Montreal game, but I'm going to assume Montreal has their own setup, hopefully, I would assume. So the plan for me is to watch both of those games. Hopefully we get a replay of one of them, because I don't know if I'll be able to do both at the same time. Again, we'll see how exactly I plan on balancing that out. It is the end of the weekend. It is a Sunday. I don't have anything too crazy going on outside of some house stuff. The lettuce is getting absolutely insane on this end, but I have a wedding coming up this next weekend, so just waiting to get a haircut in anticipation of that. That's really going to do it for today's video. Can't wait to refresh Twitter and just hopefully get some highlights out of this scrimmage. Again, does it for today, guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning as always, and forever. Let's go Devils.